You're watching the Battered Fans Network.
Welcome everybody to episode number 9 of the Cafeteros podcast. I'm your host, Dave. Alongside me, as always, I got Xavier Lavos and Jorge Torres. Let's start with Xavier. How are you doing, sir?
Good, brother. Good. Happy with the result. Doing good.
It's a good start. Jorge, ¿cómo le va?
Good, man. Good night. How are you? Good.
I'm excited, man. I look, it's June. We're playing football in June. The World Cup is in 10 days. Colombia plays in what, like 15, 16 days. So I'm excited. I'm excited the way that the guys are starting to look today.
Here.
All good things. And I guess we'll start with the starting lineup. So this was the starting lineup. We had Camilo Vargas at goal. We had Dida and Sanchez as center backs. We had Mojica out at left back. We had Santiago Arias at right back. We were talking before the show that it's probably because Daniel Munoz played that final for Crystal Palace a couple days ago. I'm assuming that's why he didn't get to start and came in so late. Then you had Richard Rios and Puerta, which had a nice game. Carrascal at the 10. And then you had Luis Díaz on the left, Gomez on the right, and Cucho up top. Any surprises? Anything that you would have liked to see differently, Xavier?
Surprises, some pleasant surprises. I'll go with that to start. I thought, hey, Parcero, what's going on? With Ardita, I remember him when he was in junior and when he was starting out, and like before he went to Mexico, it actually became like a really good player. And junior, I used to criticize him a lot, and I always thought he had potential, but he was very raw. Because in Colombia, like they want you to be a finished product right away. But this guy was raw, and he's got much better. He was a pleasant surprise because I like speed. And you've heard that from me in other shows that we've done together. I love my center backs to have speed, to be able to recover. And I think him and Davinson are probably the two fastest center backs that we have. And they're technical enough and they're good enough to be decent players. And I think that was a good combination. I hope he goes with that. So I like that. It was a pleasant surprise. Cucho, I think did well for himself. He showed that he's a very solid option right there. And if there's any issues, pleasant surprise with Gomez. He was moving around a little bit more like he does when he plays with Vasco da Gama in Brazil. He's actually, looked more confident. So I like that. No surprise between Puerta and Rios, two of the better midfielders, that we have. So they're solid. And we know, Luis is Luis. So that was the surprise for me. Dita, pleasant surprise. I like him as a option, a center back. And my guy Cucho played a strong game. Gomez played a strong game. So they're showing me depth and options for the team. So I enjoyed that.
Jorge, any surprises for you or anything that you would have rather see in the starting lineup?
Man, Xavier, you took all the words, but
Oh,
but no,
just say it in a different way. Say it in your way.
no, true. But the main one for me was seeing Cucho up top. I thought we were gonna get somebody like Cordova or start off strong with Suarez, but watching our guy from here, it was very good to see as well. So, and Dita as well, Santi Arias had a pretty decent game as well. So Puerta showed out. So that was one of the my decent surprises seeing it. I think Carrascal was also the main one because I think we accepted somebody else to get more playing time at the 10.
I like her.
I think Carrascal is probably the player that left the most to be desired today. I think that he didn't have a good, even in that Lucho goal, the ball fell to Carrascal's foot and he almost like tripped over it and it ended up just rolling over to Lucho and he ended up getting the goal. I think Carrascal is probably, if I had to choose a player that probably didn't do enough with his opportunity, I would say Carrascal is first. I didn't think Dita had a great game either, but I would say Carrascal more than anyone. Jorge, anybody that you think that maybe could have done better and didn't do enough with their opportunity?
I think being the guy at the 10 and trying to make stuff happen, Carrascal didn't do himself any favor. Which I don't know if you were able to watch, but like Luis Diaz had the. I mean, he was a captain, but he had the freedom to roam. Like he didn't even stay on the left most of the time. He was playing the middle, sometimes out right. Nestor Lorenzo let him roam and do whatever the heck.
I love it. I love
that one surprised me. I was just like, this guy is moving everywhere. Just like, oh wow. Which then helped him flank up and down the left side, which that's his specialty.
I love that he's wearing the captain's band. That's really nice to see also.
Well, James wasn't in there, so
Still, it's still nice to see.
yeah. I mean, he's earned that respect, right? He's earned that privilege, especially with the year he had today. But like what you guys were talking about, Carrascal to me is one that should have been on the bubble, even to be on the team, because it's not like he's have had a poor performance today. He's had a string of poor performances, and he's had a couple of mishaps in Flamengo recently over there that they're not happy with him. So he was a guy that was on the bubble for me, and I would have liked to have for them to have taken like a guy like Asprilla, and young and just even if he's on the bench, but he'll produce more, I think, than this guy has done with all the opportunities he has been given. Because
he would have gone to work with this team. Había mucho espacio. There was too much space, and he would have just worked.
Yeah. I don't know what. And let's get this straight. Carrascal is a very talented player.
Yes,
but his work rate, his focus, his commitment, it doesn't seem to be there. I don't know, why. Because I can understand James is 34 going 35. And even then, when James is on the pitch, you can bitch all you want about him. You see the difference. You notice the difference. You see when there's a leader like him on the pitch, you notice him. For good or for bad, he's there. But Carrascal goes like the invisible man so often, and that's upsetting. And it's upsetting to me that he was brought along. But
Carrascal, like I said, I don't see where he's going to be effective in this team. I don't know if he really gets many minutes because, right, if James comes off, it's going to be Quintero that's going to come in. So I don't see him getting too many minutes anyway. But I do think that he had a missed opportunity today because as a starter, he had a chance there. First goal, Lucho taking the corner, which was nice to see. Perfect delivery to Sanchez, and Sanchez back post. The goalie had no chance at that. Davinson Sanchez with a great finish. Who needs Yeti Mina? We don't need a Yeti Mina. We have a Davinson Sanchez.
Slow down.
We don't need a Yeti Mina.
Slow down.
That was
I got Copa America deja vu and just all the headers that we got from corner kicks.
Do it.
Man.
Me and George on the same wavelength. So today, right now, I was gonna say let George talk first, so because I don't want to steal his thunder. But go ahead, George.
You were about to. You see, you guys think
I'm going to say that, but go ahead.
No. That's literally what it was. I was just like, oh wow, we're turning back the clock for 2 years. It's like we're set piece, la selección set piece. That's exactly what it is. It's like can we look good in these areas and have our tall, big guys get in and get headers and win battles. And that's what Davinson Sanchez is there. That's where a guy like Jerry Mina can win at times down there as well. Lerman and stuff like that. But today was his day. That was he headed it perfectly.
No, you're 100%. And you mentioned what I wanted to hear, Copa America. Remember when Colombia was playing well, when they made that big run, they were winning games like that. They winning headers, being physical, winning the balls. And we were a little surprised because traditionally they've been kind of weak in the air, defending and attacking, right? But in that Copa America, they looked like the strongest team in South America in the air. They got a lot of balls, defending and headers. Willardita is another guy that's really good in the air, believe it or not. So that gave me that flashback. I was like, oh, okay, we're gonna be aggressive like that. This is gonna be a weapon for us. That's a huge weapon in these games. You guys know in the World Cup when it's tight games like that, boom, you break it open with a goal like that. How many times have I seen throughout the years Colombia's playing Uruguay? To me, they're outclassing them on the pitch. Oh yeah, Uruguay comes 90th minute, 85th minute, beep, boom, they win 1-0. They won the game. So
that's what happened here in Charlotte, Copa America semifinal. James gets a corner kick and then header to Lerma, and that's how they end up winning the game.
And you win big games like that. I've seen the big teams win games like that. So if that's going to be in our repertoire, if that's going to be a weapon for us, fantastic. This game gave me a little bit of air. I know it's only Costa Rica, and I'm not down. So I'm not bringing them down because you want surprises? I love the number 9 from Costa Rica. Buy him. Ugalde,
something like that.
Ugalde. I thought he was fantastic. There was about 2.
He took some shots from outside the box.
Huh?
He took some shots from outside the box.
Yeah, no, he's very talented. I hadn't seen him. I wasn't aware of him, but he opened my eyes, and I think that kid's got a future.
I was not familiar with your game.
Yeah, exactly. I was not.
Um, I don't know. I know you say that you it's just Costa Rica, but when you think about it, right now we just have to worry about the first two group stage games, right? And those teams are probably just at least the way they're ranked in the roster, they're technically worse than Costa Rica, DR
What,
Congo, and Uzbekistan.
let
So
me
what
correct
what
myself
what
there.
you need to do is you need to win those two games. You need to make sure that you win them handedly, so that if you play against Portugal and let's say you draw, but you have a good enough goal differential, you win the group, which is what
You're
the
still
goal is,
secured.
right?
When I say that, just because I say that because I thought that they dominated. I thought that they looked like a not I'm not gonna say a contending team, but they look like a strong team.
Yeah.
And but Costa Rica is not a bad team. They're not a bad
No.
team, but they are not at the level of the top tier teams that Colombia needs to strive to dominate in this manner. You know, they Colombia played some tough games. You know, when they started in the preseason way back. Remember, they beat Germany, they beat Spain. They played some really tough teams, and they played really
In
well
Europe too.
at that point in time. So they have the ability and they have the quality. So I want them to do what they did today against those teams. I was in the gym today and I was talking to a friend. And, who did they play? Costa Rica. And when I saw the lineup, you know, when I was heading home, I saw it was, you know, not all the starters. And I told them, you know what? If Colombia is going to be a contender, if Colombia is going to be a solid team, this team here that's not the starters needs to be up 2-0. They ended up 2-1 in the first half. But I said, if they're up 2-0, then I'll believe that we got a team because then we have depth. We have guys that are solid because, you know, your second team against a good team, 2-0, that says a lot.
Well, and I love the way that they're pressing, right, Luis? I think that's a very underrated part of Lucho's game. I think Liverpool, for example, suffered a lot when he left. I don't think people gave him enough credit for how much pressure he used to put up on that left side. They changed him for Gakpo, which can't press it for anything, and Liverpool suffered not just because of that, for other things, but that was one of the big pieces that was missing for Liverpool this year. And Nestor is letting Lucho, like you said, run wild. He's pressing. He's all over the place, and when you have your best player, you let your best player make plays all over the pitch. And I think it's going to make a world of difference. And that's how the second goal came. I forgot who it was that won the ball on that right side. And they got it over
Carlos
to
Gomez.
Cucho.
Carlos Gomez won it.
Was it Gomez that won it? So Gomez won it. He gave it over to Cucho. Cucho crossed it. Carrascal tripped over it. Ended up in Lucho Diaz's feet. And then he puts it away. And look, Lucho is Lucho, we're gonna ride Lucho this World Cup the same way we did James in 2014. I really do feel like that's what's gonna be in this World Cup for Luis Diaz.
I mean, this is what we said. Is like this is Lucho Diaz's coming out party. This is he already made a name for himself in Premier League, but this is where he makes
Especially
his
in
fame.
Bayern this year.
Exactly. So this we gotta ride our star.
If he wants to be a part of the history, not just the Colombian history, because he's already writing his name there, but if he wants to be a part of the history of football, he's going to be a star in this World Cup, and he's going to show out. Like, you know, Colombia has a guy, James, that was the leading goal scorer in the World Cup. That's big. Why do we get a thumbs down? Why are you giving us a thumbs down? You should be giving us thumbs up.
Who?
Daniel, you and your iPhone, man. You went like that, and the little thumbs down.
My fault.
You didn't like what I was saying? Yeah, but you know what? I think like Jorge was saying, this is his coming out party. This is his like breakout. You know what? I am a top tier player, and I'm gonna be a top tier player for South American history.
Well, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but
No, go ahead.
this has to be his World Cup because right now he's 29. Next time the World Cup comes around, he's gonna be 33. Not to say that he can't be at a
He
top
turned
level,
29 already. I thought he was 28. He's 29.
no, he's
already?
29 already. He turned 29 January 13th.
Oh,
So he's gonna be 33. He could still be good, but his prime is now. Like this is his prime.
yeah.
So this is when he can be at his best. So
Moment
this
in
has to be
time.
his coming out party, unfortunately, because he won't
100%.
get another chance for another 4 years.
I think he's ready. I think he's ready physically, mentally, competitively. He's been at like he's gonna be perfect. He's gonna
I
be
agree.
perfect.
Jefferson Lerma's probably going to be the starter next to Richard Rios when the starting 11 starts in the World Cup. But I love Puerta. I thought he played a good game today, and I feel really good about him being a sub and being a sub for either Lerma or Richard Rios, whatever needs to happen. I felt like depth there at that position with Puerta. I think we're solid there. I think with James and Quintero, we're solid there also. And then in the second half, we had some substitutions. They brought in Luis Suarez for Cucho. Cucho, I didn't think played horribly, but I didn't think he had his best showing. Luis Suarez, I thought, obviously came on and made a difference. James came in for Carrascal. And I don't know why Santiago Arias is there twice. It should be Jonathan Arias up on top. He came in for Gomez. Your thoughts on the substitutions? Because I was surprised that it was only those four, and then Davinson Sanchez came out for Lukumi. I thought that there might be more subs. Jorge?
No, I mean, I was surprised because I thought we were going to get a heavier rotation, but it's kind of like at this point, you also want to get these guys match fit, chemistry going. And I mean, like, they were there for a reason, and they did good.
I love that Suarez scored. He needed
what a
that.
beautiful goal too.
And what a goal in the whole play, because he makes a diagonal run across the defense, and then they give him the perfect ball. He takes up. He uses his power.
James was the one that passed that beauty.
Yeah.
Of course. And either him or Quintero, right? So he uses his power, his speed, and the skill of making that run. You don't see that a lot in the Colombian forwards. Like sometimes they don't make those crazy runs that I want them to make deep into the speed runs into the defense. And he went all across the defense, straight up, used his body, used his strength, got there, and then just finished like the leading goal scorer of Portugal. Like he made a beautiful goal, like he had been doing this season in Portugal. So now I hope he continues in that because we need that. We need that mobility up top. Cool. If you have a guy like that at 9 that can move around, and now you have Lucho moving all over the place and his ability, and then if you got Arias, up top, who's a stud. To me, is the dark horse of the team. Like he's a brilliant player for me. And you have these guys up top with James able to move around and feed, and those two guys in the back, taking care of that, and the defense, if it's solid, then now we're talking. Now Colombia is an interesting squad. Now it's a different story. It's a different.
And this is something that I meant. Yeah, my bad. This is something I mentioned to Danny during the game. I was just like, even the guys from Gol Caracol said this is like, I think that combination that we didn't see this often is that playing Quintero and James could be something that Nestor Lorenzo can think about, because Quintero being the guy that like passes and cuts and creates opportunities, James being the one that like is the pinpoint passer, and then you get Luis Díaz at the exact same time. That was a lethal combination that like was what created the goal at the exact same time, and then just the pace of the game in the second half completely changed with those two in there. You don't see that often, because usually se reemplazan, they switch out, but having those two together I was like, oh wow, this could change so much.
And that's a good option, because if you're chasing the game, you're down late in the game, or you just need a victory, you could go to a single defensive midfielder and put them up top together.
Yeah, you're having 2 point guards at the exact same time in one game.
That's definitely. I mean, like you said, we don't see that very often. But that if you're chasing the game and you need to take a risk, I think that's a good risk to take there, because they're both great playmakers.
Yeah, Jorge, say it again. I wasn't familiar with your game to Nestor Lorenzo, right? Because he did he came out today and showed a couple of different wrinkles, did some things we weren't expected, made some moves. The team looked well. That's interesting, because I wasn't really high on him recently. I haven't been high on him, and I saw some interesting things today. Maybe he's gonna go in good form too into the tournament. I would hope so, right? Because that personally, I think Colombia's at the point where they're a team that needs to break into the upper tier of world football, and the only way they can do that is with a world-class coach. Right? Why do we have the thumbs down again?
And that was you.
Every time I talk, you're giving me the thumbs down.
That might have been you, because I don't even have my.
No, I don't have. Let me see. No, that's only the guy that in his phone or whatever. I don't know what you did, but you did something, and he's giving me twice the thumbs up. But my thing is that, like, if they want to move up, they need a top-notch coach. I don't think this guy is. But he's shown me some things, hopefully he can show some interesting things in the World Cup and prove me wrong.
So 3-1 victories. The first friendly, I thought that overall, I thought it was a good performance.
Mhm.
Again, a couple players maybe they didn't play to what we were hoping. Richard Rios, I thought had a pretty quiet game himself, but I thought overall, I'm happy with first friendly. Lucho looks like he's ready. James barely just played since joining Minnesota over the last year. He's barely played football, but he still looks like he's ready to make plays
But he
for
played
others.
good. He had one
Yeah,
chance
yeah.
at goal that he actually hit, and then still
He had a free
created a
kick
big-
And that's a
that went
tournament
just
goal.
wide left. So
Yeah.
I think he's going to be great. I think that this
Yeah.
team,
It's his last dance.
yeah, I think that, I mean, I upsets happen, so I don't want to get ahead of myself. But if you can win convincingly against Uzbekistan and against DR Congo, all of a sudden people are going to start to believe, especially if you look good in those games. People are going to start to believe, and the hype's going to be there for that Portugal game. And we have to come on here at some point this week and kind of preview the bracket because I haven't taken a close enough look to see what the path is. Like if we win the group, if we don't win the group, if we end up even in third place, because I'm interested to see what is the
We have to
path
see
if we
we have
win
to
or if
see
we
that.
don't. So we're gonna have to do that at some point this week.
Or the
'cause
path
I
of
think
least
it's interesting.
resistance is always trying to
Yeah.
be first. The path-
Usually,
it's-
yeah,
Yeah, you're right. Usually, because with Colombia, like everything always falls backwards.
yeah. So
Like when they end up first, they end up
Dude,
getting like the second team.
Karma's the worst.
right,
because
something happened in the other group where the top team ended up in second. Yeah, some weird stuff happens.
Look,
But there's a lot of third place teams that are going to be going through also.
Esteban
because-
said that the chemistry looked rusty. Yeah, I think they did at the beginning. I think they did at the beginning, and then they started finding a little bit of the rhythm along the way.
All right, so final question before we get out of here. What do you expect to see against Jordan? Do you think that they play? Because I like to see it as a dress rehearsal. It's the
has
6th,
to
and they don't
be.
play against. They don't. No, I think it's June 6th,
Sunday.
and they don't play
Sunday, on
again
Sunday.
until June 7th. I'm sorry, June. Thank you. So it's June 7th, and they don't play again until June 17th. So that's 10 days in between. I'd like to see a dress rehearsal. I'd like to see the start. Like this is the 11 that you're gonna see against Uzbekistan in Mexico City on June 17th. Let's see them run out there together for a full 45 minutes, and that's what I hope to see on Sunday. Xavier, do you think it's necessary to have the starting 11 out there or no? Because that's what I want to see.
I think you need to, kind of like Stefan said, the chemistry, right? They need to have that chemistry. They need to understand, hey, okay, we got to get it together. Where and talking about James, he needs minutes. He needs minutes. But what I feel comfortable and hopefully Colombia, can make a run in the tournament is like he goes from menos to más. He's gonna get stronger, get better as the game as he gets those minutes in and like he does the Superman, right? He puts the Colombia jersey. It sucks and it
changes.
pisses me off,
He does
but he
this.
like he kind of gets like a different vibe when he
He
plays
puts the
Colombia.
cape on, man.
No,
He
he does
does.
the
He
Christ the Redeemer.
Yeah, he loves. I mean, he
Yeah.
really loves. He really loves the country. So you have to love him for that. I just wish he was more consistent because he had the ability to be an all-time like really 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 top player, and but look at everything he's done. Everything he's done is still like up there in our history, in Colombia's history.
Right. Colombian history.
But he had more. So we need another player that goes beyond that. That goes beyond that. Le da
Le da la fiebre
amarilla.
amarilla.
Dude, that's
Yeah,
a great
yeah.
song that they came out with.
Let me tell you. I haven't heard it yet. I've been looking on Apple Music.
I'll
but
send
I
it
will
your
tell
way.
you-
It just got released today. I'll send it to you.
Oh, today, because there is a
who is
song
it?
that
Who
I've
is
been
it?
jamming to all week,
Which one?
and it's called "Que Chimba Ser Colombiano," and I've been jamming to that all week. I don't know if you guys have heard that song.
No, put it.
Awesome,
Send it to me.
awesome song.
Send it in the text
I'm
later
gonna have to
on.
send it to you guys, and I'll send it to you in the group chat. Also, that's the song that I've been jamming to all week. Que
Oh,
Chimba
we're
Ser
good with that.
Colombiano.
We're good
I just
with
walk
that.
around work just singing it to myself. So,
Man.
for those of you watching, that's a free
it's
plug.
funny.
For,
This guy's
for the
walking
artist.
around work like Ryan Castro over here.
Yeah, I'm telling you. It's so.
Hey, if Colombia makes a run in the tournament, the USA is going to be turned up because Colombia is home. Anywhere
Absolutely.
Anywhere they
I
play,
feel
they're
like
home.
that's the fourth host country when it comes to this. Do you remember
100%.
Copa America? Like
Are you
we
kidding
are
me?
the fourth host country. Like wherever you go, it's going to be a sea of yellow. I think that they might have more support than the USA, because the USA, wherever they go, there's so much like tourists or even just immigrants or people that were formerly immigrants that came over from different places. So it's like scattered.
I would hope not. I would hope not. I mean, I want them to be home.
Me too. But have you seen them play against the South American teams?
That's true. I mean, I was at the USA game yesterday. There was the crowd was
in Charlotte, yeah.
Really good. Yeah,
the
I
crowd
was there
was
yesterday. I photographed the game yesterday. It was almost 58,000 people were there.
Right. And
So,
and how was
I
it
mean,
divided? Was it mainly USA or was it?
It was
Senegal.
It was like 75% USA. Senegal fans showed out. I will give them a lot of credit.
Wow. They're loud,
They did
right?
really
They're
well.
loud.
They're loud. They're passionate.
Yeah, when they
And
scored
they're
that first
fun.
goal, I was like, oh man,
They're
I can
fun.
hear them.
They're fun.
Well, Jorge, what do you want to see on Sunday? Do you want to see the starting 11 that's going to come in the World Cup, or you think it's not necessary?
Technically, I would say yes, just to be like, okay, this is what we're gonna get. But I feel like, considering how today went, you also don't want to avoid injury. And I think what we were talking about, kind of like the theme of tonight was, I was not familiar with your game. I also don't think Nestor Lorenzo is supposed to show all his cards.
Fair.
And
That's a good point.
That's fair. So I think
Senegal did it.
he will want to like at least keep a couple guys that like, hey, this is. I think we all know what the projected 11 is, no matter what. Exactly, like this guy says here.
Yeah.
At least for the first half, have like your legit 11. Maybe have a couple more until like the 65th minute, and then ciao. So get on the bench.
Look, I want to see the starting 11. I'm okay if James plays like 15 minutes. Like, just, let's not risk James because he is the most fragile out of all of them, I think.
I mean, yes and no. You still want to get
Are you
legs.
talking about emotionally or physically?
Both. Don't put him in the same pitch as Messi, and Messi will make him cry again. Nothing pissed me off more than seeing James crying because Messi lo regañó. Oh man, that made me so mad. Like,
you think Pibe Valderrama would have acted like that?
No, man, nobody. Try that shit with El Tino. That pissed me off so much when it's like, come on, man, you gotta stand up for us. That was so frustrating. All right, Jorge, any last words?
No, dude, great win, great goals that we got today, great momentum. Everybody stayed healthy, which number one, that's the most important thing.
For sure.
Que chimba ser colombiano.
Yeah.
Ya le mandé las canciones. So check the group chat.
You found it? All right, perfect.
Put it on.
Xavier, any final words?
Final words, good beginning. And I'm glad, because there's a saying in Spanish, ¿verdad? Lo que mal comienza, mal termina. Well, with this is lo que bien comienza, bien termina. Vamos a ver.
Así mismo, I like it. And one last one, Calor, is another one that just came out. I'm telling you, people dropping songs, man, left and right.
Dude,
we're good for that.
Everybody became musicians.
World Cup. We're good for that. We just need to win a World Cup.
We got that covered. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the best part of the song. As I say, we win, we drink. We lose, we drink. It doesn't matter. We're gonna have fun no matter what. All right. If you're listening on audio, appreciate you listening to the end. Please 5 stars and a comment. If you watch it on YouTube, like and subscribe if you haven't already. It's a Colombian soccer show where we talk English. Let me say football show. We're talking English. So I was looking around. I think we might be the only one. So check us out.
Good. We're starting. We're breaking the market. We're breaking into the market.
There you go. So check us out and make sure you like, subscribe, and tell anybody else if they want to hear something different, right? Because I love listening to football in Espanol, but English gives you a little different feel also. So appreciate everybody hanging out with us, and we'll be back later this week to kind of map out the path because I'm curious now to see what it looks like. So we'll be back later this week. So until the next one, have a good one.